This song took a year to write. It was 2011, and at age 27, I had already been dating for 10 years. I wrote the words and tried so hard to find a melody for it. Nothing came. I collaborated with a friend of mine named Zach, who tried to help me find a melody for it. Nothing came. After trying and trying, I decided not to force it. I put it away. A year later, I pulled it out of my Burgundy Unfinished Songs folder, and the magic just happened. The song and the melody came together effortlessly, and I could not stop playing it. I feel like there's always this question that people have, which is, how do you know when you've actually found love? What does it feel like? Am I making the wrong choice? There's often fear attached to love because we've all either been burned or seen someone else be burned by loving someone else. I had already had 2 relationships in my life where I really hoped that they would lead to marriage, but didn't. I felt pressure from my religion and family to marry as soon as possible, but getting an education was my priority. Even still, I took on some of the pressure. When I was 21, I met a guy who I fell really hard for. We had the best time together. I loved his mind, his ambition, being with him, how attracted I was to him, and he was really incredibly thoughtful. It took me 6 years to move on from him. He was about 6.5 years older than me and told me the age gap was way too big for him. Now that I look back, I have more perspective on that relationship, but at the time it was really difficult to process and took many years to move on. I wrote a song called Letting Go during that time to encourage myself to move on from him. The story and song is linked. By the time I wrote Painted, I'd been wondering how to know what love looks like. What does it feel like? How can I care so much for someone and they not care for me back? It doesn't make sense, especially when it feels so good and right for me. How can it be so wrong for him? So, how do you know love when you see it? I've seen a lot of women in my family get into relationships where their voice was not important. I've had friends feel that they were doing most of the work in the relationship when it came to kids and family. I knew that I didn't want that and was trying to identify what I did want. I knew I would rather be single than in a miserable marriage. I knew I wanted someone who was a team player, had initiative to do things that obviously needed done. I wanted someone I had fun with. I used to have a really long list of things I wanted in a partner, but over time that list got smaller and smaller and smaller because I realized I was being too specific. I wanted only a couple of things. Someone I loved to be with and someone who treated me and others kindly. I stayed away from anyone who had addictive practices, knowing that if they did, they needed to do the healing before getting into a relationship with me. A free and clear mind was really important to me. October is a magical month, with autumn coming on and my birthday in the midst of summer's goodbyes and winter's beckoning. I love the leaves' color palette and unique fingerprint of every sunset. Painting has always been something I enjoy as a rare pastime. The amount of time I spend on painting ebbs and flows depending on what I'm doing in my life and what I'm focusing on. I'm known to gift my paintings because it's one way I can create and then give that creation away. Handmade gifts are always more meaningful to me. I once heard someone relate painting to family life, so I related it to partner love. With every stroke, the painting is more itself. With every act of kindness, conflict resolution, thoughtfulness, genuine regard, and interest in the other person, a relationship is painted. 2 people are literally creating their masterpiece or their scrap. The way I began to see it after reading books and seeking out mentors is that if both people can easily move on from a conflict after communicating and working through it, that's special. Every relationship will have conflict, which is nothing more than seeing something from different perspectives and then trying to figure out how to come to a place together from those 2 perspectives. Certainly, if there is fighting going on with words, emotions, or physically, that's an automatic red flag. Everyone deserves basic human respect and love. Painted was my poetic way to describe how I hoped I would feel in a relationship. When I look up at an endless blue sky and feel liberated and open, I want to feel that in a relationship. I don't want to feel closed off or constrained, insecure, or held back. Relationships require attention and nurturing, but if it becomes an energy drain, that's something to explore so that each person is getting what they need. I will say that if I were rewriting this song 11 years later, It would be a love song to myself. It would be fully and beautifully embracing myself in all of my shadows and light. It would be me knowing that I was sufficient and did not need somebody else to make me whole. I didn't truly feel that inside until about 3 years later when I moved to Boston on a whim. That was when I embraced being alone and single, feeling genuinely happy. I no longer needed somebody to fill the gaps inside of me. I could fill them myself by learning more about myself and by fully loving myself and trusting myself. I slowly began to believe that I am my highest authority and that I have the answers for me and my life. I would also add that I do believe we have an inner strength to get to where we're going, but we never get there alone. Someone inspired us or gave us a kind word, appreciated what we made. In ways we often don't recognize, our light becomes brighter with the bits of light people generously give along our path. 6 months after Fell Apart happened, make sure you listen to that story and song too. I was loving my new life on the East Coast. 2 months after I got to Boston, I met a guy named Nick. After a month and a half of being friends, I played Painted for him along with a few other songs. A week later, we were out for a chilly evening walk in the neighborhood where I lived. We stopped where there was light and he pulled a letter out of his pocket. He asked if he could read it to me. At the end of it, he said, "I hope to paint your life pretty like October sunsets." Not only did he quote my song, which completely melted my heart, but he wrote me a letter and read it to me and then kissed me. It was so sweet. We married the following October, and this month we celebrate our 8th anniversary. Every day I am grateful we found each other. I love the story of how we met. Part of that story is in the song and story of I'm Yours, so be sure to listen to that. Painted was the first song I produced professionally in a studio. It was in the top 3 of the most transcendent experiences of my life. I loved producing this song, and I love all of the ethereal vocals that I added as part of the background sound in the song. I would be in the studio and just jump around and twirl and laugh with giddiness. That's how much fun I was having. It just came together so nicely and so easily. This has become a favorite and most requested song of mine. For many years, it was the strongest connection to what I could not see. Music takes me to another realm in a way I can't really explain, but I suppose the best way to say it is that it helps me make sense of life. I have another really funny story about him getting me a birthday cake and putting my lyrics on it. I just need to figure out when I'm going to tell you that story because it definitely needs to be told. With every step forward and every stroke and every learning, we paint our lives pretty like October sunsets. And if you're looking for a person that you want to spend your sunsets with, love and trust yourself. Make your path a beautiful journey that you can invite someone else to join you on it. Your gratitude and joy will be magnetic. You'll know when you want to walk alongside someone on your life journey. The beautiful thing is, they will want to walk on your life journey with you as well. Much like the song and how it came together, we don't need to force things. It'll come together and it will feel right to you. Like an endless blue sky, you free my soul. I breathe as if it's my first breath. Somehow you make me whole, like a shooting star. I'll only see once, penetrates me with pure delight. Can't even sleep at night, 'cause you paint my life